Alright, so this is going to be my second video. I actually filmed this video 2 weeks ago before spring break and planned to edit the whole thing over then, and found out that all of my footage had been wiped, so that sucks. Couldn't make it, but here I am back again. And this time we're talking about Doom's 2016. So Doom is a badass first-person shooter where basically you just run around as a space marine called Doom Guy. Very creative on the name, but you basically just blast demons with guns through hell, space, all this crazy stuff. So it's like a pretty gory, intense, action-driven game, but all around just super awesome. Became one of my favorite games of all time. So again, like I said, this is Doom 2016. There's been multiple Dooms made before. The first game was released in 1993, and a little fun fact, it was released in 3 different sections as 3 different discs, and you would have to mail order each of those discs to play each section of the game. Fortunately now we don't have to worry about that, and it's just one cohesive game. But Doom has expanded beyond video games, and actually there's a movie on Netflix starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I haven't watched it yet. Totally plan to do it, but I don't know how good it's actually gonna be. And then finally, Doom Eternal is coming out, I think either this year or next year, and it looks just as good as Doom 2016. I'm super excited for it to come out, but that's one of my most anticipated games. So the reason why I got Doom is actually from a recommendation from a friend of mine. He said he was playing Doom at the time, and he was like, this game is super fun. You just go around, shred up demons. It's super gory and just really fast-paced action, short playthrough, and he really thought I would enjoy it. I was a little skeptical at the time, just considering like I was playing mostly RPGs and slower-paced games, first-person shooter, which I love, but the first-person shooter genre just didn't seem too interesting to me at the time. I wanted something more story-driven, which Doom isn't really, but I decided to go to Target and pick it up for 20 bucks. It's part of the PlayStation's Greatest Hit series now, so it was really cheap and honestly a steal for the way the game ended up turning out in terms of how much I liked it. So personally, I like short games because I like to get through a bunch of them very fast, and Doom took me about 12 to 13 hours, so it was really fast, and another reason why I really enjoyed this game. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about why Doom is super cool and why it's become one of my favorite games. So first off, Doom is extremely fast-paced. There is not a second of downtime in this entire game, basically. You're just going, shooting, blowing up stuff. It's super intense and action-packed. There's no sprint button, there's no reloading. Switching between guns is super fast, so if there ever is a dull moment, then you're probably just not playing Doom right. Every minute and every corner you turn around, there is some kind of action, and it never stops. So right off the bat, when you start the campaign of this game, no long cutscene, no story-driven moments. It starts you out with a gun and you just start killing demons. The game honestly doesn't have time for crazy long cutscenes, just because again you're always moving, you're always shooting, and having cutscenes would honestly just ruin the pace of it. It's kind of a middle finger at all story-driven first-person shooter games. That's something I really appreciate about this game, is that it's refreshing due to the fact that, like, again, you can get through this game and never be bored for any amount of time at all. So the other thing that makes this game really fast is that when you're picking up any kind of loot, such as ammo or shield or health, you just run over it. There's no like slowed down animations to show you picking things up. It makes sure that you're just always on the move, always going really fast. And honestly, the reason that I liked the speed of this so much was that, again, it was such a change from the slow RPGs that I was playing at the time. I think right before I played this game, I was playing Ni no Kuni 2, which not so much a slow game, but it's definitely a lot longer, and the RPG elements kind of slow the pace of the game, especially in comparison to Doom. And the next thing I want to talk about with this game is the guns. So again, this is a gun-based game. It's a first-person shooter, so guns make up a very important part. id Software, in making this game, did an amazing job at making these guns feel impactful and powerful. You know, Doom Guy is supposed to be just this demon destroyer, and you really feel that way when you're shooting these weapons. There's a good variety of guns, so you know, you never feel like you're shooting the same weapon. And what's also really cool about these guns too is that you can upgrade them and customize them in your own way. So there are upgrades for each of these weapons, some that do more crowd control damage, more explosive shots, some that make things more precision. But realistically, you change your loadout to how you see fit. I tend to go for more of the explosive based upgrades just because I think it's a lot more fun to, you know, see things blow up and explode and have demons just blow up at the hand of your explosions. There's rocket launchers, there's shotguns, there's assault rifles, pistols and these special like blasters and plasma rifles. Personally, my two favorite guns are the base shotgun and the heavy assault rifle. I think those two feel the most fun, and I enjoy their weapon upgrades the most. But everything feels super balanced. You know, there's no guns that are incredibly overpowered if that's not like what they're meant to do. You know, the pistol stays pretty weak, and then the assault rifle, it takes a little bit longer to kill enemies, but the speed at which it shoots compensates for that. The shotgun isn't overly powerful either. It takes a couple hits, especially on bigger enemies, to you know, knock them down. So nothing feels too incredibly powerful where like it makes the game easy. I would say this game, no matter what skill level you're playing on, presents a decent bit of challenge. Personally, you know, don't tell anyone, but I play on the easiest setting just because that's my thing. I like to play games on the easy setting to get a feeling of everything, and I personally like to feel pretty powerful in games. The power-ups that are offered, such as quadruple damage, you have a speed boost, you have another one that does basically an insta-kill. All of them feel like they're never presented to you too much where you feel like just all the time you're super powerful. Like the amount of times that they're offered make the experience a lot more fun and rewarding when you do find these power-ups and are able to plow through demons using them, if that makes any sense at all. The next thing about this game that I want to talk about is the enemy design. I think since there's really no story base or anything, it's going to rely a lot on the character design through the demons. Doom does a really good job at this because all of them look super gritty and hell-like. Quite honestly, at times they can look pretty scary. Like one of them could just hop up behind you and you're actually taken off guard and nervous because they do look terrifying. Some of them are updates from the old games, so when you look at the original Doom from 1993 and then you look at the demons now, it looks really cool to have them in HD with like completely fleshed out polygons and a new take on the old 16-bit looking style. You have these things in this game called glory kills, and basically the enemies start shining in this like orange glow and blue glow, and you press R3 on your controller. Various different set pieces come up as to ways to like finish off the enemies. And what's cool is you never really get bored of doing this just because there's so many different ways for you to glory kill. Like if you happen to look at the leg of one of the demons while you're glory killing them, you may do like a sweep of the legs and then finish them off that way. Or if you're facing a larger enemy, you could pull its heart out of its socket and then shove it down its throat and it is destroyed. So like they're all just so gruesome and satisfying at the same time in like a really weird kind of way. It never gets old doing those. Then the next thing with the design and creation of this game is the world design. Part of the game you're in this space station on Mars, and then the other part of the game you're in hell, in the demons realm. So both of these are very contrasting. The space station is super claustrophobic and industrial looking, pretty space age, and just all around this like steel kind of gray aesthetic to it. And then hell is such a strong contrast from this because it's just gruesome looking. Everything looks gross and like you wouldn't want to touch it. There's skulls everywhere. Looks like just demonic sacrifices are going on. Like just not a place, like a very scary place, honestly. The fact that they did such a good job at contrasting the two different worlds makes the game again feel fresh, and like every time you're in a new environment, it feels like a new environment. You're not just playing the same stages over and over. And on top of that too, like, yes, this game is a first-person shooter, but there are some platforming elements to it too that the worlds make fun to do. So, you know, if you're going around trying to get to new locations, find little secrets along the way, then that journey is pretty fun. That's the other thing too, is there are secrets throughout the map too. There are these little Doom guy figures, as well as again the weapon upgrades that you can find along the way. So though it's always going action, when it is slow at moments and you're exploring new areas, it's at least fun and it's a nice refreshing break from the action. The slow moments are nice and the fast moments are even nicer. So all around, just they found a great balance in this game. And then within these realms too, it's really interesting to look around and explore because there are moments where the demons actually fight each other, and if you're not looking out specifically for these, you might not notice it. So taking in your surroundings is super rewarding just because like you'll see funny moments where like two giant one-eyed demons flying through the air are fighting each other. And I think that's a nice attention to detail that they pay to this game, showing that the creators of this really do care. And they do. Again, this game is an old franchise, so they pay attention to what their fans want, and they do a lot of fan service, which is why a lot of longtime Doom fans really praise Doom 2016 in comparison to the other games that are in the series. The last thing I want to talk about in this is the music. So Doom's music is just hands down, like, incredible. So I'm a big metal fan, and the majority of the music in this is this like industrial, just chugging, guitar heavy, ripping metal music, and it fits the aesthetic so well. Like, again, I said this is just a badass demon killing first person shooter. So like, honestly, this is music that I listen to at the gym when I'm trying to get in the headspace to lift some weights and pound out some reps. What's cool about this too is it was made by one guy. So one guy produced the entirety of the Doom soundtrack. It's really impressive considering the quality of it and the attention to detail that the aesthetic of the music gives the game. Again, like I said, I had a friend of mine suggest that I play this game, and what he told me was, if you're not listening to like just ripping metal music during this game while you're playing it, then you're not playing Doom right. Like, you need to just put on some hard, heavy metal and just destroy some demons. And he was right. Honestly, like, I'm listening to metal music right now in the background as I play this, and it makes the game so much more enjoyable than it already is, which is pretty hard to do because this is a pretty damn enjoyable game. But I just wanted to cover why I think Doom is really cool and why it's become one of my favorite games. I love to just put on this game when I had a long day at school or something, and I just want to de-stress, get all my stresses out from the day, and turn on a game that I can just kind of be mindless in. And not mindless in a bad way, but mindless in a way that, like, there's no overthinking that goes into this. There's not too much strategy where I feel like I need to think and stress and be engulfed in this game. I like to listen to metal music to like let out my stresses, and I feel like it's good for stress relief. And this game combining all of that with, again, that mindless gameplay that's just super fun and entertaining, that can take you away from the moment for just at least an hour, makes it one of those timeless games for me. I can't wait for Doom Eternal to come out because I can't wait to see what they've done with this. If you've seen the trailer, that chain grapple hook looks super cool, and like, I think that'll add a new element to the game. Yeah, Doom is just incredible, and I'm so glad that I bought it, and especially for the cheap price of $20. Like, you really can't beat that for what it is and what you get from this game. So I think this will be an instant classic for all time and one of this generation's top picks. So I definitely have more videos coming up. Hopefully I won't lose footage again and can keep these on a more consistent week by week schedule. I'm gonna have videos about Nier Automata and Kingdom Hearts coming up, I think. Those are gonna be a lot more hefty. Those are gonna be kind of a doozy because those games mean a lot to me. But I think that'll be a good topic for one of the upcoming videos. So yeah, thanks for watching this, and I really hope to see you on the next video, and hope that comes through next week. So stay tuned.